Hi, I'm Mike Gardino with Gardino Life Coaching, and I'm committed to helping you live the life that you deserve. Unfortunately, when we're born, we don't get a user's manual on how to live our life the best way we know how. Sometimes we just end up feeling stuck and lost to where we're going. We don't know the right approaches to take. So that's where I can help you remove those roadblocks so that you can kind of move on in your life and live that life that you so deserve. Things are really tough out there. Some of us are really struggling to make money, to make ends meet on a daily basis. Well, I mean, it's always been hard. I mean, every generation in time has always struggled with some form of another of making money and earning a living. But today we're kind of in a weird economy in my mind, where we have unemployment that's actually low, but wages are just not keeping up with inflation. Inflation is so high. I mean, last year we were up in the 9% range, and that's not even a direct comparison to where it would be if you went back to the 1970s. If you actually calculated inflation today like we did in the 1970s, and we would probably be very, very close, if not even over that inflation rate. But thankfully, the inflation rate has come down some, but it's still there. We're still at a 5% number, 4 or 5% number, which is really double what the government really wants it to be. So that just means that we're struggling to find a way to make enough money, because our pays just don't seem to keep up with that inflation rate that just keeps going up. And every time you go to the grocery store, it's like, wow, this is the most I've ever spent. Man, so you end up saying that every month, and that's because that inflation is really not going down. It's lower than it was last year, but it's still pretty high. So what can we do to get extra money to make the ends meet at the end of the month? Well, the first thing that we can do is to look for a better job. Now, with the economy having a low unemployment rate, so employers are still looking for people, and they're still willing to pay some form of a premium to get new employees. But obviously that's not quite as bad as it was last year. I think it has calmed down a little bit, but there's still avenues to get a better paying job. Maybe even change, you go into a different profession potentially that can get you that better paying job. But look, first thing is to look in your own marketplace, trying to find a better job, a better way to make more money, doing what you already know how to do. Now, the second way to kind of get more income is to supplement your income, finding another way to do that. Now, obviously, if you're already working a full-time job, if you're working 40 or 50 hours a week, of course you have the rest of your life to live. You got to find some extra time in order to make to find a way to get more income, and that can be really, really difficult for some people, especially when you have a family. You want to spend time with your family. You got your work. You're working your butt off all the time, and Lord knows we all still need to sleep. So you got to find that time, and that's not an easy obstacle to get over. But think about it. If you can get creative at certain pockets of time during the day and figure out how much time you have available to see what you can to work to find a way to supplement that income. Well, there's two ways that I think you can supplement your income. The first way is it's not an immediate injection, but to start your own business, because then you can be very flexible with your time and look at those small pockets of time that you might have available to you in the course of the week or the weekend or in the evenings or wherever it happens to be, and work on your own little business. And of course, the nice thing with today's environment compared to 20, 30 years ago, the internet is so prevalent, and there's so many more easier ways to make extra money on the internet, whether it's selling things, if it's making things, if somehow creating some value for people, trying to service a need that's out there. So think hard of what need is out there, what talents do I have that I could lend to make some money on to help people, and then once you figure out what that is, how much time do you actually have to commit to it, and then take the steps to go and start your own business. Now, Unfortunately, you don't walk out tomorrow, start your own business, and checks start rolling in. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. But it's not that it's hard, but it's not simple. Starting your own business takes a lot of time to get it up and running. A lot of times you got to learn a little bit about what you're doing, what the marketplace is like, pricing your service or your product correctly, so on and so forth. So in marketing, you got to get the word out. So it can take some time, and so it'll take time for that to evolve. But that's kind of the best way, because you can control your time commitment, help control the income that comes in. It just gives you lots of control, but realizing that it's not an immediate injection of cash, but it can be the best long term. Short term, really rough. Long term, really good. Now, the second way that you can supplement your income is to get another job, a part-time job preferably, where again, you got to find those pockets of time that you're able to commit to doing that. And that could be working evenings, God forbid, working at night. But you still got to sleep. So make sure you take that into account. But I realize that some people can get by with a lot less sleep. So find those pockets of time that you're able to do some work, and then find out what kind of job opportunities are out there that you could supplement with. Some people, like for instance, might work a 9-to-5 job and then go off and be a bartender or a waiter or waitress at a restaurant in the evenings, or the weekends type of thing. Or you may find a way that you can do supplemental bookkeeping for somebody if you're someone with an accounting background. Finding those little things that you might be able to do to supplement it. But again, it's hard to find. Those tend to be a little bit defined pockets because you're working for somebody, and of course they want you here at this point in time to do something for them. So you have to be available then. You can't control your schedule quite as well, but it still can be pretty flexible. Now the good side is it is immediate. You start working, you get an influx of cash. So you can start counting your dollars right away. Now, you may say, yeah, Mike, this sounds all great, but, I'm tired every day. I don't have more time to commit to all that. I've already tried that. It's kind of a dead-end job type of thing. I feel exhausted, and it's just not worth it. And that could very well be. But I guess, to give you that push to go do that is, because these are difficult steps, don't get me wrong, but you got to have a reason why. And when you're really strapped for cash and you're behind on payments and you're in debt, that's your why. You need to get out of that mode and get that cash into your system so that you can pay off those debts. Give yourself the freedom, and but think about why you're doing this. If you don't really have a why, you never will do it. So that why is the biggest reason that you want to do this to supplement your income. And once you know your why, of the reason you're needing to make that step, you got to take the action. All this talk is meaningless without the action. You got to take the action. If you don't take the action, you won't get the fruit, you won't get the income, you won't get that freedom, you won't get yourself out of the rut that you're in to make that money. So, if you're struggling to make ends meet, you're struggling to get money, you got to get clear as to why you need to have that money. And then 2, what steps you want to take that you're willing to take to get that money. All right. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm Mike Gardina with GardinaLifeCoaching.com. Please hit the subscribe button down below. And if this episode touched you in any way, please give me a like. And if you have any questions or anything I can help you with, you can reach me at mike@GardinaLifeCoaching.com. Thank you.